Hi everyone, this is Diana from Sweet and Savory, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make a classic pot roast that comes out juicy, tender, and delicious. I'm going to leave you the link for the recipe in the info box below, but you can also find it at sweetysalado.com/en. To make this pot roast, we are going to need either chuck roast, which is best for this recipe because it has a lot of fat in it, but we can also use rump roast or round roast, whatever you can find at the grocery store. We're going to season it really well with salt and pepper. Now we're going to heat some olive oil in a large Dutch oven over medium-high heat. We can also use a large pot that we can place in the oven. And we're going to sear the beef for about 5 to 6 minutes per side, making sure we're going to season the underside with more salt and pepper to taste. And what this does is caramelize the natural sugars of the beef, giving the pot roast a great flavor. Once that's done, we're going to flip it over and we're going to sear it on the other side for another 5 to 6 minutes. In the meantime, we're going to pour beef stock or beef broth into a large bowl. We can also use vegetable stock or chicken stock if that's what you have on hand. And we're going to mix it with red wine. This is optional, but I highly recommend that you use it because it gives the pot roast a great flavor. If you don't want to use red wine, you can add more beef stock instead. To this, we're going to add lots of fresh chopped garlic, Worcestershire sauce for flavor, and a small amount of tomato paste for sweetness. And then we're going to give this a stir and set it aside. After we sear the beef, we're going to place large chunks of white onion around the beef. You can also use yellow onion if that's what you have on hand. And then slowly and carefully, we're going to pour that beef stock mixture over the beef and the onion. And finally, we're going to add herbs. I am using thyme, rosemary, and 1 bay leaf, but you can use your favorite herbs for this recipe. If you don't have fresh herbs, you can use dried herbs. What you can do is add them to the beef stock mixture before you pour it into the pot. We're going to bring this into a simmer over the stovetop, and then we're going to cover it and place it in a preheated oven at 300 degrees for about 2 hours. After 2 hours, we're going to carefully remove it from the oven. We're going to taste the liquid for seasoning, add more salt if needed, and then we're going to add vegetables. I love using carrots and celery for this recipe. Use your favorite vegetables. And we're also going to add potatoes. Baby potatoes work best for this recipe because they're smaller and they're really firm, but you can also use gold potatoes or red potatoes and just cut them into medium-sized pieces. After we add the vegetables and the potatoes, we're going to cover the pot once again and place it back in the oven for another 2 hours or until the beef and the potatoes and vegetables are tender. And you'll know that they're ready because you can easily pierce them with a knife and you can easily shred the beef with a fork. Finally, we're going to remove the roast from the pot and either shred it with a fork or cut it into smaller pieces and serve it with vegetables and potatoes. And if you want, you can drizzle it with some of that beef juice. Or you can also make a delicious pot roast gravy. And if you head over to sweetysalado.com/en, you can see the instructions on how to make it. And that's your recipe for making a classic pot roast.